Yeah. Loads of this. Let me just load up the picture here. So keep going backwards and forwards for a minute. Yeah, I'm thinking this is definitely going to need another coat of white. But we shall see. So what you got planned for today, Kitty? What are you going to be playing or doing? Move it towards you. Oh no, I could move it towards you because I've framed it. I just haven't framed it very well. It was the first. This is the first paint by numbers that I've ever framed myself, and I'm beginning to realise that I haven't made it. Like if you look at that, I don't know if that's coming up on camera too well, but that's very loose. Well, it's not very loose, but it's looser than what the factory ones are. So, like I said, it's the first one I've ever done. So, you know, I'll know for next time to just pull it a bit tighter. And then that there. Right, that's a lot of number one done. Let me just put a little blob on there. And where are we going here? Okay, this comes up to there. Down. There. Perfect. Come on. Yeah, no, you want it. There you go. Oh, got a little tumbleweed in the paint. Don't want that. Oh, well, we are the tumbleweeds. Oh, still, who remembers that? Kitty, you got to remember that. The tumbleweeds. Okay, I'll be right back. Kitty nagging me. I'm still listening from the kitchen. No worries, darling. Wasn't it the grumbleweeds? Do you know what? You're absolutely right. It was the grumbleweeds. Yes. Did I make you come all the way back from the kitchen to type that? If I did, I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, we are the grumbleweeds. Yes, it is grumbleweeds. No worries. Right, so we've got to connect them to. Oh, we're nearly done for that one, which is nice. I'm clearly.
You look a bit parched. Why don't you take a drink?
I am very parched, actually. Mr. Pitbull, thank you very much. I think I've got too much contrast, or not enough contrast in this picture. Good morning to you, sir. How are you on this fine day? It's still too early here. Yes. There. Yeah, I'm just putting my hand in all kinds of wet paint right now. which is not what I want to be doing. There. Thing. What's this? So you did a thing. What did you do? What thing did you do? Tell all. Was it a good thing or was it a bad thing? Do you regret the thing you did? Isn't that a song? I did a bad thing and I regret the thing you did. Well, Palia has removed controller support for now. Oh, really? Okay. I wonder why they did that. All right, where is the rest of this number one? There seems to be an awful lot of it over here. Another one. My issue also is the fact that the font that they've used for the numbers on here makes a 1 look like a 7. Which is a little annoying. And my method of going AFK was to sit my controller down with the sticks posted against the side of the camera as spins and keep it from logged out. So since they removed the controller support, I had to get creative. Okay. What did you do with your keyboard? I called up a little auto clicker from Dinkum days. Okay. Did you make left and right a mouse click? And remap the middle mouse to jump and then set click every 17 seconds. I mean, that works. See, this is what us men do. We get a problem and then we figure out a solution. It's not always the solution you want, but it is the solution that you need. Tested it last night, woke up this morning with a full batch of apples to harvest. That's so cheating, Mr. Pitbull. Although the idea has merit. That is actually a good idea. Should have another batch waiting when I get home tonight. Yes. That's not the worst idea I've ever heard, to be honest. Yeah. I underestimated how much white there was. Like, severely underestimated, actually. I was thinking I was going to get a lot more done during this session than I actually have. But that's alright, because it's got to be done no matter what. I'm hoping, well, no, the idea is to rest my back, have a shower, blah, 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 blah. And then come back on here a bit later on and do another paint by numbers session. Seeing as at the moment that's all I seem to be able to do. Not complaining, because I do enjoy it. My prick of a cat just dug his claw into my finger because I took a KFC bone off it. It does stink. Well, the moral of that story is don't take the bone from your cat. It doesn't like it. Yeah, no, cats can be vicious. I'm not exaggerating when I say, like, some cats genuinely scare me. Like, especially the ones like you got to throw a tea towel over because you just don't want them attacking you. I think I got all of them right. Well, for the most part, I think I did. I was sitting here as usual and contemplating whether or not to press that button, and I was talking to a friend of mine called Gifu. Really nice person, and just kind of convinced me to push myself a little bit harder than I normally do. And yeah, here I am. So I appreciate that. Genuinely appreciate it. Because I do need to get this done. That's for sure. Now, I don't know if you're all experiencing headcat. No, you're not. There we go. I'm actually thinking I'm going to take this opportunity now. I know I said I was going to do this the other day, but I completely forgot. Let's give this a few drops of this. And any paints that I find now that are a bit blobby, I'm going to do that too straight away. Just get it over and done with. Mix it up, make it a bit easier and a bit faster to do some painting. So I know this is a little bit boring, me doing this, but unfortunately I keep forgetting and I'm not in here. And as soon as I come back to it, it's like, oh, forgot again. But my missy, I bought a whiteboard, right, to put stuff on. I've never really used it. And well, I do use it every now and then. But I found that there's stuff on there that I'd like to keep. But when I try and wipe it off, it doesn't want to come off. Right? So I know it's a silly thing. Because then then I've got to go and get a sponge and water and stuff and then really scrub at it to get it off. And then like my pens that I've got for it, they just run out of ink and I've hardly used them because, as you know, I've hardly used my board at all. Right? So now I just don't use it because it's too much like hard work, even though it's not hard work to sort those problems out. So anyway, cut a long story short, there's all of these things going around about these tablets now that you can buy like for 99p on TikTok or whatever, and they're supposed to be really good. My wife then tells me that actually they're not good because they're too dark to see. And then I had a look at one because she bought really a cheap small one, and I didn't know about it, and I was looking at it, and it's basically an LCD screen without any backlighting. All right, so they're fine if you're in a really well lit area, not so good if you're not. So then she turned around and says to me that the more expensive ones are a lot brighter. And, you know, I don't need it blinding, but I need to be able to see it. So she's looking on Amazon at the moment to find a good one for me to get. So then I'm going to be able to use that. That did go up there. So I've missed a bit of number 1 there, which I'll have to put in a sec. Black line. Perfect. And then, of course, I put my finger directly in the bit I've just painted. Because why not at this point? Right. Okay. For that. I was thinking, because I'm starting to work a little bit further away from a microphone, like, is it going to be that I'm going to sound bad? And if I do, I apologise. I'll see if I can do something about it if it happens. If not, happy days. I'm what am I doing right now? Well, I mean, I'm painting right now, but I'm watching hey Xenomorph, how you doing? You know, I just stopped myself from calling you gorgeous or beautiful or sweetheart, and that was because of yesterday, but I'm not going to. How you doing, beautiful? Are you having a good day? But yeah, I've started watching on Netflix Castlevania. It's really good. Really enjoying it. Hey, Heavy Tactical Pig, how you doing? How you doing, sweetheart? Good. How are you? I am the same as I always am. At the moment, but it's kind of been brought to my attention, and because I sit here and I, for lack of a better word, because I sit here and I'm moaning about how I feel, and whatever, it has been suggested to me that is probably why I'm still like it, because, you know, I'm focusing on it, right? And just like the different pills and potions that I've tried because I want to get better, I'm now going to just say that. I'm just telling myself I'm the same as normal. I'm just trying to live my best life. Rather than, you know, saying or whatever it is I would normally say. I'm not even going to say it in sarcasm, just in case, because you never know, they could be right. But yeah, everything is awesome. Hey, Giraffe. Live your best life, Queen. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just living my best life. So yeah, that's what I'm trying today. But Gifu in my Discord just they asked me. He asked me if I was going to be streaming today, and I was like, "Yep, it's definitely what I want to do. I'm just trying not to feel as I normally do every day, and I was just trying to get up enough stamina or enthusiasm or energy. That's the word, to actually come on and do it." And then he turned around and said, "You can do it. Don't give up." And because he said that, it was like, yeah, don't give up. get up and do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? What, I'm going to do a short stream, or I'm going to go after like a little while and whatever, you know. But at least I've done something. I haven't just sat back and, you know, not done anything. So yeah, that's exactly what I've done. So thank you for that. What happened yesterday? Okay, so I'll tell you what happened yesterday. I raided a friend, okay, who I have no issue with whatsoever. All right, he's a very nice person, genuinely nice, you know. And cut a long story short, they raided someone else, and I'm not going to say who the someone else was, because, well, you'll understand, right? So I went in, and you know, as I do, I like to raid other people, and I like to just drop them a follow if you know they're personable, you know, and they interact and they're not just sitting there, you know, doing nothing. I just feel like everybody just needs to hit that follow and like button a little bit more, you know. So I did that, and then I had to wait, you know, 10 minutes or so before I was allowed to make a comment in the stream, which I thought was a little bit strange. But I thought, okay, well, you know, there's obviously reasons behind it. It is what it is. People, different strokes for different folks, right? So I waited. This was a female streamer, by the way. So I waited the 10 minutes, and then I put my message in there, which I typed out, which was, "Hey, sweetheart, how you doing today?" Right? Just that. And then she read it, and she immediately turned around and said, "You obviously haven't read the rules. I know you're not trying to be offensive or nasty, and that was meant in a nice way, but don't call me sweetheart. Don't call me any pet names. My name is blah, blah, blah. You may address me as that." And I sat back and I was like, what? Yeah, that you also all have to understand something. I've been very ill. You know, I keep saying it's 6 years. My wife actually pointed out to me this morning it's coming up to my 9th year. Because I was 40 on my birthday that this all started. And it was a couple of weeks or so after my 40th birthday that I had my vagus nerve thing, which spiraled all of this off with panic attacks. So it's not 6 years or 7 years. It's actually closer to 9 years. But anyway, so, I mean, yeah. So I haven't, I've been in a time bubble, right? I don't watch the news. I don't watch television. I never used to watch social media and stuff. I was just playing Grand Theft Auto and talking to my friends, right? So we never really spoke about current affairs or anything. Call them poop sandwich, isn't it? That's no pet name. Yeah, right. So I don't know what's actually happening in the world right now. So I don't know what is politically, well, now deemed to be politically correct nor incorrect. And then I got really defeated by it. So I went in to ask some friends of mine their opinions on it. And bless them, they're really lovely people, and I've got nothing against them, right? And even when I make any comments that might sound like I do, I have nothing against them. They're really lovely people, right? But I went in there just to ask their opinions and stuff, is to see whether or not it was me or it was you know, her or whatever else. So I went in there and we were talking, and then it was like, immediately when I turned around and said what I said, immediately he turned around and said, "How do you know what they've been through? That word might just trigger them." And it's like, well, I've got no idea whether that triggers them or not. But how old was this streamer? Like over 20. I'm gonna assume from what I see they were over 20, right? So I was sitting there, I was like, well, okay, that's fair enough. That's fine. But like, how do you get? And then it was sort of said to me that, do you know how many men go in there and just hit on this woman constantly, 24/7 and whatever else? And I was like, no, I didn't, because I don't do that, you know. And that's my ignorance of not knowing, you know, what female streamers go through. The stuff that I do see that female streamers go through, I think is disgusting and it shouldn't happen. But, you know, that's just me. So then I turned around and said to him, but I'm not a predator. I'm not trying to date this woman or anything else. And then they turned around and said to me, well, how does she know that? And I was like, no, that's a fair point. How does she know that? And then I turned around and said, but what you're saying is, and what she's saying is that based off of one person or whatever, or someone starting a conversation with the word sweetheart, or a term that was just meant in a very nice way, because you know me, you know, she obviously doesn't, but you've judged me to be like everybody else. If she was under, I would have said it would have been kind of creepy to call underage woman sweetheart. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, no. Look, I mean, I call my grandkids. I call my grandkids sweetheart. You know, and they're very young. But like, I'm 48 years of age. I'm from the East End of London, and I've always called people sweetheart. Because I was always, sweetheart was always like a nice thing to say to someone. You know, it's like I call myself Mark Buddy, right? And I call men Buddy. Hey, buddy, how you doing? You know, it's not. I'm not pigeonholing anybody or whatever else. It's just a nice greeting. Well, at least I thought it was anyway. So then it was, my argument is that, okay, so that word is triggering to them. So they've obviously got an issue, right? For something that may or may not have happened in their past, right? But now you're trying to get everybody around you to not say sweetheart or not do what they would normally do, which is, in their opinion, and it is just in my opinion, a nice thing to say to somebody. It's a compliment, or it's just a friendly, you know, thing to say, in my mind. And I grant you, this is all in my mind. And I'm vilified now because she hasn't vilified me. That's wrong. But I feel like I've done something wrong by saying sweetheart and whatever, right? Which that's my problem. You know, there's nothing I could do or say about that. At this point, I'd gladly trigger people to save the language. Yeah, no, but yeah, I just. And then somebody turned around and said, well, how do you know that they haven't had a bad experience with somebody that just constantly called them sweetheart all the time, and it's brought up bad memories for them? And I was like, well, I don't know that. But just because one person has called you sweetheart and you've had a bad experience of it, it doesn't mean to say that every experience with somebody that calls you sweetheart is going to be the same. And by stopping yourself from hearing it, aren't you giving that more power? Because you've made this whole big thing now. Now, please, nobody just, you know, ostracize me or just use me as a platform to like, oh, he's inciting this and inciting. I'm not. I'm learning now how to live in this century.